I want to show you all the figures I had from the Terminator 2 toy line from Kenner. Back from 1991, 1992 about, after the movie came out, had all the action figures. I'll try to focus on the first kind of wave, but we'll take a close look of all the figures we can here. A couple that I wished I had as a kid, we got those so I can open up and add to my collection as well. Here we got like a little advertisement for some of the figures here in like one of these little Kenner booklets. I have videos where I show these old booklets, you can check that out. But first one I never had as a kid was just the endoskeleton style, like, raw Terminator figure. It's called the Techno Punch Terminator just because it has like a little action tag of the figure name. But this way we can see the packaging. We have like just the artwork of the half and half kind of face that would be on videotapes and posters and things. There's a little like drawing of the figure doing their action here. That does make them look cooler in the packaging. Then on the back showing the figures in the line, so we'll go through all of these. Here we kind of have instructions and a little bio of the figures on the back, and showing how to use their action or their accessories included. And then the wacky car vehicle. Never had that one, not sure if I will, but we will show a pretty sweet vehicle here in a little bit, not shown here. So my theory for why I never had this as a kid is because back then there weren't like collector toys and figures. The kids' toy line was it. Like, that was all there was. So I never could find this Terminator, even though I really wanted it, knew about it, seeing it on the back of the package. Never was able to get it because I think all the older nerds and adults were buying it up because it looks so cool. I mean, again, this was it. This was like the collectible. If you wanted a figure of like the Terminator, yeah, more styled like the first movie, since it got totally exposed like this. But these do appear in the Terminator 2 movie. Again, like the flash forward kind of scene of the war. So it fit in pretty well with the toy line either way. One I never got to have as a kid, you can see the eyes. You see a little bit of a glow there. As I tilt down because there's a little hole for the light to come in. It's like kind of that old school way to do a light up eye without batteries. Just if the light is shining down onto it, almost gives it like a glow to the eyes. So that's pretty sweet. We got the red eyes. We got the body that's very like hollow, machine-like. Looks like he has the old style like He-Man action figure punch where you twist and let go, so he's like, that's the Techno Punch. So the arms just go up and down. Oh, that's what it is inside. It's the part of the figure inside. Smart way to use that, because that's how they're kind of usually put together. You know, this is like a clamshell snapped over the parts for the arms and legs to move up and down. The legs are just one piece. You can only move so far there, but I was almost thinking the arms look like they were ball jointed, but they're not. They're just straight up and down, but there is elbow motion to them. This is open mouth. So again, always wanted this one. Pretty freaking sweet looking accessories he comes with. I don't know why he doesn't just come with like two big future guns like he had in the Terminator 2 movie. Wouldn't it look pretty nice, like holding the two guns? Like, I love that sound effect. Were those the plasma rifles that he was asking for in the first Terminator movie? Yeah, I could see why he wants those. But instead, they're not guns at all, which is kind of silly. This is supposed to go on the head, and it's a scope, it's a lens, it's... what is this crap? And then that immediately covers the eyes and makes it useless. Maybe you could put it a little higher up. Oh, I like this look. This is funny. Yeah, I probably would have had this little bit here. I don't know if that's the secret way they snuck in. Like, haha, he did come with a gun. But we'll see later figures that come with guns. So I don't know what the deal was with this. Pieces almost look like they snap together and like form a secret gun or something. But I would use it as a gun. It makes no sense putting it on his head. Nobody cares. And then he just has this, like, what's it say? Junk? Wreckage? It's just a twisted pipe of garbage. That's what he's supposed to hold when he does his Techno Punch to beat you with. Clunk. Okay. Yeah, another dumb one that you could almost use as a gun, except it's like bent down. So that's his cane for when he's a little older. They did have a limp from the damage, so that's his walking cane. Yeah, this is one I always wanted, so this is a good addition for my little mini Terminator collection. Head can't move, but we got the twist. Oh, you can see like they're like the soft rubber there that pulls it into the twist there. So you gotta be careful. If those get cut, it won't be able to function, but it kind of makes it look more skeleton-y, you know, with just like moving piston parts. Pretty genius, and I can see why likely all the older fans and viewers were snatching these up. Especially since you could have multiples just like in Terminator 2, like the army of them. Would have liked just one, but I couldn't have that, so dang. So these are my childhood figures I'll be showing here. This is the battle damage one, which you're kind of looking at it like he's not battle damage, he just looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger in a tank top here. I thought they were pretty cool likenesses and stuff here. You can see like mine's kind of paint chipped from playing with it so much. But he's just in like not even any whimsical attire at all. Just probably straight out of the movie when he's maybe when they're hiding out after like the mental hospital escape, maybe on the way to Mexico. But here's why I don't understand why the other Terminator one, the endoskeleton, didn't come with the guns, because this one comes with like his almost shotgun kind of thing. You see the pump on there, so he just came with like a standard looking gun. No feature, no like missile launch or anything goofy. Just fairly realistic looking toy gun for him to hold. No way to kind of do two-hand, but he did usually just like one-handed flip pump his shotgun anyway in the movie. So they did guns. I don't know what the holdup on some of the other figures were, but we'll check it out as we go. Not even a different color on the boots. Just the same green. We raise the arm here. You can see the crack here, where you can see it's supposed to come off here. It's supposed to shoot off when you do that arm, but mine's kind of worn out from playing with it. This piece of his real face comes off, and we got the endoskeleton underneath. So this is the closest I got to the the figure I wanted before. That is kind of what I used it for, even though it's a little spooky here with all his human arms and legs and stuff. But it's cool to see all the kind of Terminator underneath detail. But this is my childhood one, so it is worn out, doesn't shoot off like it's supposed to. But a cool one just to have like a standard one, just a full Arnold, like no damage on him except for underneath there. Plus he came with the gun. So the coolest one that was pretty much my superhero like Terminator that I would play with was the Power Arm Terminator. Here you can see he's no arm Terminator. Kind of like the end of the movie, kind of gets super damaged there. But here, you know, not like the movie exactly with where he just had like some damage. We have full like half face Terminator, the other half regular. We can even see whether there's supposed to be some kind of metallic parts painted there, but this has a lot of like missing paint apps that were like small like this with the head and the back. But he has the eye painted to look red. Got the bandolier of like his gas gun or the grenade gun kind of thing. But here, you know, there's holes here that probably should have some silvery Terminator metal underneath, like that they're damaged spots from getting shot. But they're just plain there. But this is like his iconic colored shirt. You'd like Mandela effect yourself. Like, yeah, he wore that color shirt in the movie. Like, no, it's just the toy. I don't know why. It really tricked me as a kid. Plain arm there, and then more of that damage like on the legs that probably should have some colorings but didn't get them. So for all the re-releases people do, you know, kind of be cool if they re-release some of the Terminator ones and filled in all these, like had him with full detail. But that's what was kind of cool about the shotgun there. This one's hand actually is open. He can hold that gun too, so he could just have the standard gun. But this one's kind of main feature is the arm spot, where he came with 3 different arms. So here's like his most humanoid one here, but of course there's all the underneath damage on the side here. Pretty cool. And then it's got a slidey bar there. Even the inside has a damage bit, but that's the feature here. You can see the fist. Is that where you could push this up and he had like this bar. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a spike. That's kind of a more T-1000 weapon. So I'm not sure why exactly they went with like the old school lightsaber like function. Like from the very old Star Wars figures. What is this? I mean, yeah, we just did the middle finger. He was like, ugh. Is this supposed to be like the RoboCop, where he had like the computer spike? And he like had that as this stolen from RoboCop? I did always have my RoboCop action figure too, but you can kind of see the problem here. He's a little small compared to that. You always wanted the real movie RoboCop versus Terminator or something. Or a good video game. I really do not like any of the Terminator games. They're no good. But there's the standard arm, a little strange on the play feature, but it looked cool. Here's the claw arm. It's very robot-y. Beep beep beep, I'm a robot. But it doesn't really do anything. It's just shaped like a claw. It doesn't have like any action to it, so it's just kind of machine-looking, kind of cool. I think I would use this for other things. I think other action figures, maybe the arm would come off, and I did like replace this on a few ones and make like the cyborg version of a character. I think I had like a cyborg Spider-Man and stuff, just like using all the parts, because you know you had the 3 arms, you couldn't put them all in at once. That one didn't use too much with the Terminator. But here's the one, the big arm. Oh yeah, this is his weapon arm right here. because it had the missile. Again, these are my childhood ones, so hey, I didn't lose the missile. I was always very careful with my stuff. But it's a spring-loaded, awesome missile launcher one with the little button on the back. No bullcrap like flicking or pushing the bar. I hate those. I like a missile launcher with a button. Shoots pretty good. Lock and load, kind of like his grenade launcher or something from the movie, but not quite. I mean, weird shape with the missile, but it's like scope and all this like weird detail. It's kind of cool. He just looks like strong with this arm here because it's so big and has the missile launcher on the end. Definitely my favorite one, kind of like the lead one I liked and played with the most because he had the most like features almost as like the hero Terminator, which is the idea I really liked in the movie as a kid, like that it was kind of almost a superhero-ish thing where it was like the two machines fighting each other. More so than the first Terminator movie. It kind of scared me too much as a kid. It's like a horror movie. He's like hunting them down. And they had like very little weaponry to use against him. So toy lines are always lacking bad guys. Here we have the bad guy. We got the T-1000 figure. And I gotta admit, even as a kid, I looked at this and I really did think this was like a stocky woman police officer or something because it just does not have a good look for like the actor in the movie. Not enough neck. He's like very thick and stocky, I guess. And then the face is so weirdly angry, and like in the movie he just always had like the calm look. I mean, even with all the stuff covering the face, it just looks like crap. He has his helmet from like getting the motorcycle and stuff in the movie. I feel like a headbutt feature would have made more sense because he kind of headbutted his way into the helicopter, and then I think they could have just got away with having him be all silver and he probably would have been more impressive as a figure to me than this one with like his very cartoonish police uniform, like multiple holsters and stuff and his badge and all this. He came with these binocular things that I guess you put in his hand. How are you supposed to put it in? Guess this. He's holding it like, raise up and look. Oh, I spy with my little eyes. Terminators don't really need binoculars, do they? Don't they have just like robo-vision? I don't know. It's unclear. I think definitely you're supposed to hold it with that other arm because this one doesn't make any sense. It's pretty useless. Again, it's one that, like, why didn't he just come with the pistol or something? That's what he always used in the movie if he had a gun or something. But I will admit, when I was careless as a kid, I lost his missiles for his special feature. So I had to buy some off of eBay. I mean, they are very tiny. I mean, come on. And you'll see another reason why I lost them when we check this out here. So he just has the arms move, but this one has like a feature attached, so you get like some clicks when you move it. Then the head is part of the feature, so the legs don't move either. So he can't do much that way because he's got a motion kind of thing going on here where once the head lines up and clicks in place, once you start going down, whoa, his butt like flips up, and it's got like the hole for the missiles, which is nothing like he can do in the movie at all, so I don't get it. Why it didn't do like a stabbing weapon or whatever. Knives and stabbing weapons only. You can't just become a bomb or something and get you. So he's got rockets in his pockets, I guess. Wait, what the hell? How do you put these in here? Okay, it's got to line up, so I've screwed this up already. You need to line them up with the shape, kids. Learn shapes with Terminator. That has to go so they stick down, because otherwise the missile was sticking up and couldn't go underneath here. So he's locked and loaded in place. Oh, I've got my missiles hidden in my rump. Okay, so he does his little he does his dance move to do his missile launch here. Okay, so you'd think you do this, right? Like there's missiles in there. He's gonna flip it up, right? Here we go. Yeah, they didn't come out. It's because this feature is like screwed up. I think they just screwed up. Because would you not think that that's supposed to launch them forward? It just doesn't work. I think it was a failure in the concept and test phase. So literally the instructions say to flick the missiles out. Yes, flick. Not even like push and they like shoot like they're spring loaded. No, they're just laying in here. And you're just supposed to flick the missile out. So you can flick it as hard or as soft as you want. But that's literally the worst possible way. Like I could just throw it. I could use my imagination as a child. Could you do that? I could have just went if I wanted it to like, and I could have controlled which direction it went. You're supposed to flick it out of his awkward pants butt apparatus. Like, oh, look out, my booty missile. It's really bad. If it would have had a cool feature, or at least if it would have looked like the villain in the movie, if it would have had something. But, I mean, it's got nothing going for it, you know? It's like, it's terrible. So didn't get to play with this one much. I think Terminator kind of had other villains more than this guy to deal with. I usually praise a lot of these old figures, but this one is just like a loss on every level. It's pretty bad. So to rectify that, there was another T-1000 figure that I think is a lot better, and I wish I would have found as a kid because I would have liked it a lot better than whatever this blaster T-1000 with rapid deploy missiles. There, it's not so rapid. It's pretty bad. So the other one we opened, the Techno Punch, was in the packaging of like Terminator 2. And this figure was in that line, but it was cheaper for me to find this one that's from the Terminator 2 ride that was in Universal Studios. And I do remember getting to go to that and see that, and it was awesome. And I remember them having the toys there, but I don't think they had anything cool there. I think it was rated of all the cool ones. We can see they had a recolor of that arm changing one. So they had this better looking T-1000, but it was in the other line too. There's a water squirting one. They had this one, you know, this one got bought up, the classic, and then I think this might be a unique one for the ride toys, possibly, but I have to look up because there's a lot of repeats in this line, so that's why I'm kind of just focusing on the ones I'm getting here. If you love the way I do things and you want me to get all the Terminator figures, like, you'll have to let me know, but I'm gonna just focus on ones that are newer concept or just cooler ones to have, you know, to remember the movie and all that stuff. And we can see this figure here. This will be the exploding T-1000. It looks like it's probably the same. I can look at some close-up and see if we have some different color apps, but I bet it's about the same. They just have different packaging. So this is part of the original line, but here we have the Battle Across Time 3D, which was awesome because it was like watching a 3D movie, but there was like effects. If there was bangs and stuff or smoke, it was really in there, and then they even had some actors that would kind of run off the screen into the studio. I thought it was called 4D, but maybe I'm remembering wrong. And sorry I didn't warn you on the first one I opened up. That's what I do to get like a nice clean version if I want an action figure I didn't have as a kid. I just get it in the box so I can show you in the box, and then I rip it open. A little bit cooler packaging there. Actual frame, probably from the movie. But yeah, this is from the gift shop of the Universal Studios ride. They had versions of them. So 1997. So, I mean, the originals are from 1991, so this is like a long-lasting toy line, you know? Like, it was around a while because they were still selling them at the theme park. A few recolors and a few just redos like this one. Finally getting to add this one, so I'll have to check out what it can do. So a little bit better look, I feel like, for the actor and stuff, and has like his blue police uniform. But we have the kind of half and half where he's got the silvery, you know, I'm a CGI computer character, his liquid metal. That's a cool way to do that, I think. The half and half makes sense. Because otherwise you probably have to have, you know, one whole silver one and one whole regular. You'd think this, like, his blade arm would have been on this side, but I guess that's kind of a way to show, like, he's not just half robot, he's like all robot. Every bit of him is the liquid metal. So the arm can move all the way around. The head can't do too much because I think he's got a feature. This one does move around. The leg, just forward. Oh, the big boot. And I like the seam where it's like transforming into the metal. Looks pretty cool. But there's a button on the back. I guess he has a feature. I don't know. I don't know what to expect hitting this. I assume you just push it in. Oh, it's not a push button. You gotta push down. Oh my lord. Wow. So you push the tab down. We've got the front part has the arm locked in place so that you don't have to put all the arms together, so they're attached to each half of the torso. And then the leg bit, there's like the missiling trigger part of that, like it releases it so it can spring off there. But then he's just got like the blob of liquid metal, like as his little torso inside. Oh, T-1000. So I was just not expecting this part, but I guess that makes sense because if it was just the head, you know, it'd be so easy to lose. But it can turn there. Maybe it can turn all the way once we put him back together. He felt pretty solid, so it's not like one of those like, oh, it's an exploding figure, so you hold the button down so we can get him back together. I don't think it's going to happen on accident a ton. Trying to get the torso locked back in there good. Stays together. A lot of those ones that like would come apart would just constantly come apart. Actually, the more I play with it, the more it is doing it. But out of the box, it was pretty solid. Now he's a little fragile. Ooh, I like the look better, but he seemed pretty solid for a little bit there. But what's he got here? He's got another botched, bent gun looking. I don't know what here. What is this? Why do they come with pieces of junk? Like, oh, Terminators just bash each other with junk. Does have a pretty sweet assault rifle kind of gun there. Not sure why he didn't just have a pistol, but hey, a little bit bigger and they're like a real gun. I think the Arnold one, T800, was more using that. Oh, geez. Yeah, he's a little fragile. He comes apart. And he comes with a girder! You gotta have the girder, guys. You're supposed to hold this? Why do you come with a girder? This is like the big metal thing that you like ram the other Terminator with and damage him all up in the steel mill. I don't know. They come with debris. But I like the look of this one. If I can get it to stay and not like start exploding on the shelf, this will be pretty good. I don't know if this is my problem. Let's just see. I can kind of examine how it functions here. What is causing it to go? Rah! This would be the scariest thing running at you. I would hate that. I think maybe just I'm letting the torso like interfere, but oh boy, it's quite the jump. Much better look. Would have liked to have this one. The other one is just terrible. Where is that? What? These are not even the same character. It's pretty bad here. This one's a lot cooler and more representative of the movie. This I'm not really getting too much out of. This is the T-1000 right here. I don't know who. This is just one of the police officers that get spared their life thanks to the teachings of John Connor himself. Got a figure in the line. Not Sarah. Figure that one out. Pretty sure I would have took her with her like hat and all the guns and stuff. Would have been pretty sweet figure. Nope, too chicken to do that one. But at least we got John here. But it is the Ride gift shop one. But they allegedly released this in the normal toy line here. You can see up there the John Connor one. So since he doesn't do anything, this is ATM theft. John Connor is the tagline of this one. No, it's just John Connor with motorcycle. That'd be freaking hilarious if he came with his like laptop to like steal the money. That would go over well, wouldn't it? Pretty brilliant here. It's going to come with a vehicle. I think that makes up for it being a little boy figure. You're just a little boy. You did. You reprogrammed me. Got his camo jacket, his patented 90s hair in the face there. Actually, I can kind of see it. I can kind of see the face. Like, it's not just like generic I am a child toy. It does look like him. And then a little more articulation for the legs and stuff with the knees because he needs to sit on that motorcycle. The arms are just straight out, but wow, I mean, pretty nice motorcycle there. Wheels, little turn there, just his dirt bike and stuff. Let's see if I think the legs widen out a little bit when you bend them up so he can sit on that, and then we can kind of hook the hands into the handle. Ring! So they had like that car on the back of the packaging. It was just kind of a made-up weird cyber car thing. They should have had like the semi-truck. Would have been awesome with like the window breaking off so you could do the chase, you know, the semi versus like the dirt bike. That's what they needed as the big vehicle of the toy line, was the freaking... Because then there's another semi at the end of the movie too. So it kind of could have been double featured for a vehicle. I think that would have been a lot smarter. But he can, rip roll around there. And then you could like bump him and he goes like, ah! Or whatever his weird scream in the movie is when he gets like hit on the bike. Anyway, just a cool one to have another character amongst that. And I think it would have been handy as a kid to have him, you know, somebody to protect. I don't know how exactly I was playing Terminator without someone to save. But again, I probably hadn't have seen the movie exactly by then because I probably had to wait till it was like on TV or something. But I got the gist from, you know, you get to see all the advertisements on TV. John Connor. He fell down. There's no kickstand to keep him up, so I'm not sure how I'm going to display this exactly. I'll probably just have to stand next to his bike. There was that car, but there was also the motorcycle for the Terminator. So that's where they would have, if they would have had the semi, and then John Connor has his motorcycle, and then the Arnold's Terminator would have had his big old bike. Would have been a more complete vehicle set. Probably would have got that, but I think that car is pretty lame, but this motorcycle is awesome. Very huge. We can see the difference of John Connor's dinky little dirt bike here. So any of the Terminator ones can kind of sit on there and kind of hold the handles a little bit. It's a lot more stable. It can stand on its own. It's like wider than it looks. I mean, we can put the power arm Terminator, have him hold battle damage Terminator's shotgun, and he'd look pretty sweet on the bike there, you know? Kind of one hand in the shotgun, the flip cock, like... Wish I would have had the motorcycle as a kid. It would have been pretty awesome. I believe it has a feature. The handles move, obviously the wheels do, and then this is like a wide base, so it can kind of stand, but it can still roll. But you can see there is a button here. See the orange button? Let's hit the button. It shoots up, and a hidden missile launcher pops up. It's in there. The button just flips that up. It won't shoot the missile. There's a tab here. We got to reach down and hit that to fire the missile. So honestly, if a figure was sitting on here, it'd be a little difficult to reach in and shoot the missile, but at least it does something. It's kind of cool. Orangey missile here. I think in the commercial, the T-1000 butt missiles were like a different color or something also. So this mechanism is a little weird. There's like a flap. Can I show that? You see the flap? I don't know. It's weird on how to load it, because now that's like covering the missile hole. So if I put it back down, but I gotta push it up so I can just push the missile part down. It's on a spring so it can pop up. Lock that down into place there, and then you can see we can put the missile back in there. I don't know, I guess whatever this, when you hit the button, it must spring like, oh yeah, it pops it up through there somehow. I don't know, it's amazing. How does it work? But anyway, a lot cooler vehicle, more like something you see in the movie versus that cyber car with like the thing that goes over his head and it makes no sense. I like this better, and this will look better on my shelf than the stupid car would, and the car would take up way more space for no reason. Then we have this one here. Oh, what secret Terminator function does this one have? I'm the famous comedian Arnold Braunschweiger. Okay, no, this is from the Last Action Hero. Toy line had, you know, around the same time. But since it was Arnold, it was kind of cool to get these when they did come out, because it was almost like they mixed with my Terminator toys, because it had like the same likeness. So it's a movie I like now. The Last Action Hero is actually pretty cool. So it had its own toy line. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know too, because that's like fits my 90s action figure theme. I would be down for collecting all of them. I had this one. He had all these accessories and everything. We'd have to get a new one so I could show you off all that stuff. But he was just a cool one to use as like an undamaged, you know, Terminator to use. And then I did have this one. I can explain this if you've not seen the movie. It's a movie about movies. This is Arnold doing, I believe, Hamlet. Makes sense. He has a sweet like missile launch thing on his arm, but I think I've lost it. I just liked it because it came with swords. I liked swords back then. Swords were cool. I enjoy swords. I have a sword. So not one I use too much on the Terminator stuff because of his fancy garb there. Funny that it's the almost similar color to this one. Yeah, he even had his little dagger and stuff. It was just cool because I like the accessories, that they were cool swords. I use these with all sorts of other figures. But just putting that out there, if you're interested in seeing Last Action Hero figures in the style that I do, then let me know, because I could be probably fairly easily persuaded. So as a kid, I did have this one that came with like a water squirting pack. It had a pretty cool look with the plastic where it was like you could see the damage like inside. This is definitely just copying that battle damage one. But we got like the bandolier, and then it has done this where like this piece won't come off. It's just solid. But he has like the damage. You can see like the depth. Really cool the way they've done that. So I like that. And then he just had a water squirting pack. But you can see I played with this a ton. There's a lot of paint missing off of him. So if you're loving this, let me know, because I could maybe do all the figures, but a lot of them are like recolors, but this was like semi-unique one. It is a recolor in a way. So I don't know, I could hunt down all the unique ones, possibly. But that was one I just happened to have as a kid, and this one that's actually not from just the Terminator 2 line or even the Universal Studios gift shop one. This is like, they made another little sub-line after that called Future Wars. And I think this is a unique one now. That's probably why I got it, because the rest of them were kind of redos of the ones I already had. But this one was pretty cool. I don't know how cool the barcode on the arm is nowadays. That might be not the best thing to do, but he had really cool color, like metallic blue and weird color pants and stuff. We got a little bit of exposed Terminator thing, but he's got like kind of Comtech. I think it was supposed to be like them fighting in the future more so. So here the hand is exposed. That's kind of a cool element from like maybe Terminator 2 style, but you could pop his legs together and then his gun, you know, pops out. It can kind of inset into this like damaged chunk piece showing his endoskeleton there. And then he can move his arm like this. I punch you. Take a dive. Take a dive. Okay, I got him in one punch. But then this one has a pretty sweet missile thing too. Got like a claw missile. And you can pull that. Oh, it shoots pretty far. Pretty cool. And then he moved, you know, uniquely because of that feature. So I did kind of like this one that it was like permanently holding the gun, but it was still a pretty cool one just from the look. Almost like bandaged pants. Kind of weird, very strapped. But those are just my childhood ones. I could, you know, finish the story and do all the Terminator ones if you'd like. Let me know. That is typically what I'm doing here, showing 90s action figures that I either had as a kid or wanted as a kid. Showing the old ones I had as a kid and, you know, getting the newer ones I always wished I had, so it's pretty awesome. Getting a nice collection from the time period I'm most familiar with as a kid. Showing off all their features up close and person. So if you like 90s and adjacent time periods thereabout, this is the place to be. Hopefully I'll get to see you in the next video, because I'll be back in the other videos. I did the thing where I said it from the movie.